And welcome back to the podcast that keeps you on the edge of your seat as we give you multiple weeks and nearly months at this point worth of time to get excited and get your hopes up for what the next episode could entail.
Season
And
5 finale.
finale, yeah, it would be whatever.
Total episode.
Uh, 800.
Yeah,
And
that sounds right.
the reasoning behind this potentially from your position unexpected hiatus is because the manager told us that a little suspense goes a long way. So if you're upset that it took too long, be sure to send your regards to the manager and don't lash out at us.
Well, it's really his fault, too, because he said a little suspense goes a long way, and how are we not supposed to interpret that as a lot of suspense goes a really long way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't tell us that the commutative rule did not apply.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've heard their voices, like always, but do you know our names?
If you're in the
comments now.
season finale of season 5 and you don't know our names,
I'm
I'm sorry.
Go
we have
ahead.
failed you.
There's a little setting in Spotify that you could change the order episodes are listed. Normally it lists the most recent at the top, and I just think that's the least intuitive way to do it, personally. So
Sure.
flip that around, and then listen to all 800 episodes that exist.
skipping season 1, obviously.
Obviously.
Well,
I'm
because you won't have to
Lindsay.
watch season 1.
That is
I mean-
Daniel, and then that is Brent.
Sure.
The season 1 reboot. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
Daniel.
wait till
That's it.
they remake the season 1 and it's even better. Oh wait, that's what we're doing today.
Wow, look at that transition. Yes, as Brent is more than just hinting at, we are going to attempt to do something a little special, a little new, because it's a season finale. And not only is it a season finale, it's a season finale of season 5. And 5 is special because it's 5. And
Because we use a decimal system, and 5 is half of a decimal.
And it's the third prime number in the list of prime numbers that start with the first prime number.
And 3 is also a special number as a third prime number. Because 1, 2, 3.
And 1's not a prime number, which is why we are recapping season 1. But the point is if people are like, oh, I want to start with season 1, now you can be like, listen, you really don't have to listen to season 1. Here was all of season 1 in one episode.
Like, all the times you've been recommended a show, they're like, you just have to get this far in, and then you'll, like, know if you like it. But you can just tell people, just listen to the season 5 finale and ignore season 1, because they just summed it all up really well.
we're
in-
replacing it.
Unless, of course, they do want to give us the listens. As long as they'd listen to it on mute, then by all means.
Yeah.
What we want is for people to forget season 1 exists and not listen to it, but still listen to it in the background for ad purposes.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And for gaining a following.
Yes.
You
precisely.
guys are writing this down, right? All these
Notes.
instructions?
And then start like a little pyramid scheme, and you'll tell other people to tell other people the same instructions we just gave you.
It's not a pyramid scheme, it's multi-level marketing.
Yes, big difference. Yeah, so we're going to attempt to recreate, re-improvise, not improvise, but
Some of us will.
re-innovate season 1, and some of us came more prepared than others. So
Let's just say that in addition to the manager not telling us when we were supposed to record, there was a little bit of a mix-up on what we were supposed to record. So you're getting a mixed bag today. But that's what season 1 was, so we're staying true to form.
Yeah, so I wish I wasn't going first, but at the same time, I was given episodes 1 through 4 or so, and there's pros and cons to going first, and the pros, I am going to convince myself, outweigh the cons, because the pros are you get to forget how terrible it went by the time it's over. So, with that.
Daniel has a joke he's dying to tell.
Well, I just wanted to note that none of us know what the other two have prepared.
Yeah.
So we're all going blind unless that you're the presenter. So
Yes. So here we go, I suppose. Do you have any else to preface this with, Mr. Daniel or Mr. Brent?
Take us in.
All right. Now, once upon a time in We Bombastic Few history, there was a season 1, believe it or not. And within that season 1, we started off with, by the way, might come off as a speed round until we get exhausted doing speed round. We had crazy current events. We started off season 1 with crazy current events, and believe it or not, we discussed the topic of $80,000 worth of wigs being stolen from a shop, but luckily they were insured. And I personally think that is the best career path to take, because I am very passionate about wigs or wig insurance specifically.
Okay, I was gonna say stealing wigs or wig insurance.
Wig
Both seem
insurance.
like very
Niche
lucrative
things, yes. Yes. And then quickly after that, we discussed the hypothetical. And do either of you remember what the hypothetical was?
I do, even though I can technically cheat right now, I do remember the hypothetical. It was, would you do a pointless job that paid really well? And my answer is, I currently do that. So the answer is obviously yes.
My first answer was like, no, I'd like rather have a job that means something to me that pays less. But now I realize most jobs in the world mean nothing. So
Yeah,
I will
nothing.
flip my answer to I would do a pointless job for a lot of money.
As you can see, we've learned a lot. We've matured as
Yes.
people since season 1.
We have become very
We're not
educated.
starry-eyed, dream-filled children anymore.
Exactly.
We've been beaten into submission by the world, and these are our new responses.
We know reality.
Yes, and I don't remember what I said. I think I said that I couldn't go back to doing or couldn't go back to a job that I do not enjoy, but I did, and
That's the common theme for everyone.
and I hate it. But beyond that, we also stated that Bill Gates has a lot of sheep, but that's not important as much as William A.
Well, I
Clark,
mean,
the
everyone knows
soldier,
that.
We got to call out how each episode got its title.
I couldn't
was
tell you how that
Oh
happened.
boy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how well we can do.
Sure. Yes. So, something about Bill Gates having a lot of sheep, and sheep are worth money, and therefore, the sheep house. I don't know. That's
He had a house made out of sheep or
house
something.
made out of sheep.
I
sure.
know this definitely comes into play into the Hannah Phil Lecates episode, whichever one that was, but
That wasn't even this season. And by this season, I mean season 1, because that's the season.
the
we're in.
relevant season.
Yeah.
this is actually just a supercut of audio from season 1. We didn't even record this.
Yeah, this isn't. We've taken audio from season 1 and cut this together to be the
Yeah.
recap.
Yeah,
That actually
scheduling
that
conflicts.
would have been the smart thing, taking the funny actual good parts and making it into something as opposed to making it all bad. But let's keep going.
Yeah. So, in light of getting back to improv and unscripted things, please tell me about William A. Clark, the soldier, as remind me of what we learned about him when we read the article back when season 1 came
Oh,
out.
Well-
it was Brent's grandpa, right?
No, he's my father.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
correct. I was hoping you would remember that. It's the only fact I wrote down.
Well, you expect me to forget my own father?
Yes.
Also the inventor of glow-in-the-dark dental floss.
Yes.
And we're really gonna have to reach if we need any other facts about my father.
No, you can tell me about anything else about his life, like
What-
things that could have just resurfaced knowledge that you didn't remember that you knew.
Is this
but-
the random wiki article?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
It was crazy that it landed on my father.
Yeah.
On the
Bonkers.
very first time.
I mean, that's why you were able to guess so accurately.
I don't know.
Guess?
I
I
didn't
don't know what
need
you're
to guess.
talking
Yeah.
about.
I forgot to mention he, in addition to inventing glow-in-the-dark dental floss, he also invented oxygen. It's a
really?
little known fact. Yeah. Before that, people used to breathe nitrogen.
I was
but then-
just about to ask, like, you know those memes that go around that's like, when was oxygen discovered? And then people before then. I was wondering what your answer would have been, but that's perfect. Nitrogen.
Yeah, I don't really
What a
like that
world.
meme format just because like it's kind of making fun of like my father's achievements, William A. Clark.
Oh,
and so,
I sincerely apologize. How dare I overstep like that, wanting to put his story into meme format?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, whatever you find funny, but seems a little disrespectful.
Yeah, sure. Daniel, do you remember anything about William A. Clark, the soldier / Brent's dad?
I remember he had some great heroic work in the war on American obesity.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right alongside the first lady of the good lord, the first lady Obama, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, yeah. She actually gave him the Congressional Medal of Anti-Obesity.
Oh really?
First receiver.
That's greater value than the Nobel Peace Prize, I heard.
Yep. You
Yeah.
even get more money than you do for a Nobel Peace Prize,
Oh really?
which is honestly is kind of messed up if you ask me. But hey,
Hey, truth's their own. Wow, look at that. It's been a couple seconds, and we've already
and you're already
through
through.
an
It's
entire
been
episode.
a lot more than a couple seconds, but
An entire episode.
that was season 1.
Yeah,
or
so
episode 1.
You can go ahead and hit skip now. The next episode will be the next episode, obviously. Okay. The hypothetical. I don't know why, but we started off with a hypothetical the next one, and it was the endoskeleton. Increase strength by 300%, but needs to charge every night. And if you didn't charge, you were stuck there. Couldn't do anything until someone plugged you in. Would you still do this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think Daniel and I said that we wouldn't do it last time, but I have at least switched. I'm not 100% sure what Daniel said, but for me, I 100% switched to I would definitely use it because why not?
Because you've gotten old and you're like, dang, I'll take 300% strength. Hopefully that'll be enough to not wake up with back pain.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
thrown my
for
back
me,
out way
like-
too many times.
After developing like arthritis, carpal tunnel type stuff in my hands, like
After an office job.
after an office job, it's like I think that'd be really nice to just not have
Disgusting.
any hand pain at all.
Yeah. And then we did Dream Journal, and the Dream Journal for today is, so I had a dream the other night where I was dropped my brother off at work, and so I knew that I had to go pick him up later, so I was already like kind of like in a rush to get all these things done that I needed to do. But I went to like the school that was in like I'm relating it to Hogwarts because it's like in a castle type building, but it wasn't Hogwarts. It was like really run down, and I like park my car, but I park it knowing that I have to take 2 cars home to go pick up my brother. And I do not know, I don't have any plans on how to do it, but part of my goal is to find the keys for both cars within the building. And I don't know how I drove the first car without having keys, but I go in, and like it's a lot of people from our high school like auditioning for a play, all right? And then I have I'm mixed in the crowd and I couldn't get out, and they look at me and like, oh, you're here part of it, time for you to do like an impromptu solo to like audition for it. And I just like, no, I'm not auditioning for this, I'm literally just stuck here. And then like everyone leaves, the school day's over for the people there, and like I'm like, okay, and now I got to go find the locker that has the 2 sets of keys. I go look for it, can't find it. Well, I was like, well, the day's over, I got to go pick up my brother, I'm just going to go back to the car that I drove without the keys. And I get to it, and like neither car is starting because obviously I don't have keys. And then
Were you taking my car in your dream?
yeah, apparently. And then like I was like, I can't leave, so I'm just guessing I'm gonna go back into the building and see if anyone else is there, see if they can help me look for my keys, or at least just hang out until someone can come pick me up. And like monsters start showing up everywhere, and I'm like starting to like protect the people that are still there, that are like secretly living there, and they're trying to like hide from the monsters, so I'm protecting them. And then we're like bunkered into this one room, and I know like the section of the entire building or buildings that have the monsters. And my dad shows up, and he's like, "Oh, there's monsters in there. Oh, I know how to take care of them. I'm gonna go take care of them." And I never hear back from my dad. My dad just gets destroyed by the monsters apparently, and that was the end of my dream. So
I have a really
please
hard time
interpret
pinning
it.
down the genre of this dream.
Yeah. So please interpret my dream for me, as we did your dream journal for the second episode.
Yeah. Well, I think you have a secret desire to be in a play, because like you weren't trying to be in a play, but your conscience kept bringing you back.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever thought about doing theater?
And
I exclusively have thought about not doing theater and avoiding it by any means possible.
the cars not starting was symbolic of your body telling you to stop trying to drive away your desire to be in a play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do the monsters mean?
I think the monsters are the bad fans, right? The people, the hecklers of the crowd,
The haters?
the booers. Your father, he tried to stop them, but like you try and heckle a heckler, oh man,
It was kind of symbolic. Like, just it's very good that you kind of have that self-awareness to know that people won't be able to bail you out of that situation when people are heckling you. You have to handle it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So even though your dad tried to help you, it's still up to you.
You gotta find the keys to your own life, you know?
Okay, I like that. Thanks for that advice. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. That'll be $300.
Okay, thank you, therapist.
Well,
it's like $80 to $100 an hour, but I'll take that rate.
I mean, we do have an insurance form you could fill out.
Yeah. Somehow, after insurance, it ends up being twice as much. So, we don't know how that works.
And we don't take wig insurance.
Yeah.
The insurance
Very
that gets
specifically.
the doctors paid more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we wrapped up. Well, before we wrapped it up, we did bombastic quote, and the bombastic quote is just even more bombastic than ever. This is the first one. This is why I wrote it down. The present is just the future's past. This was brought to you by the great philosopher Daniel the Diabetic. And then we wrapped it up with the next big thing. So
did he call me the great falafel?
I did not say that. But yes,
I think he did.
I did not call you the philosopher, but sure, you can be the falafel.
I mean, the great falafel knows a thing or two about the future.
Okay, we wrapped up with the next big thing. So do tell me, now that it's a few years down the line, what is the next big thing coming up?
Please tell me I said surgeon masks back when we recorded that in 2019.
No.
Sad.
You said light up shoes were coming back.
I mean, I wasn't that far off, right? Like clothing item.
Yeah, like, I feel like things that were kind of in as kids, like, wearing them as adults has kind of come back into swing a little bit. So, like,
Heelys.
Crocs, light-up shoes, Heelys, it's all coming back. So you were right on that. And for me, I said jujubes, and that was definitely right. That's been the top-selling candy for the last 3 years since I said it would be the next big thing.
I was trying to remember how Bad Juju became the title. Also, fun fact, my least favorite title we have.
You know, we could change it.
Yeah, well, it's history now.
Okay, I'm not asking for what we
Yeah.
should've been
No,
in the
shut
campaign.
up. I'm thinking. All right, hear me out here. You got solar panels, right? Everyone knows about solar panels. You know what people aren't thinking about? Solar panels on your cup holders.
Oh.
Because fun fact about cups is they absorb 87% of the sunlight that comes into your car. And so, like, electric cars in the future will use cup holder solar panels to power them.
I've always advocated for putting more cup holders in a car rather than less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this, I think, will just...
Expedite the process.
Yes, expedite my agenda here. Lindsay, what was your next big thing?
What I did say was laceless shoes. But what I'm currently going to say is I think bingo is going to be the next big thing.
I like it. I also like that there's no justification. All right, Daniel.
Does there need to be? I'm just predicting.
No, there doesn't have to be. I think it's so obvious that why would you need to explain?
I think spherical dice are going to be the next big thing. You know, it's so tiresome when you roll dice to hear them clank on the table. But people are just gonna roll their dice from now on wherever it stops rolling.
I mean, there is that 100-sided dice, which is like basically a sphere.
Exactly, and those I'm seeing them more and more, and that's why I think full spherical dice are the next thing coming.
I like it.
Nice.
Perhaps even a kit, like a little mini sandbox for you to roll, or like almost, you know what people do the long jump in for track, just a giant sand pit. You just roll the ball across that, and then wherever the sand stops it.
Interesting.
I like it.
All right.
Episode 2, everyone. Boom.
Now,
you got it all.
Let's skip once again. We're on episode 3. This we opened up with the chicken of the trees. Now, can either of you remember what was the chicken of the trees?
A chicken of the trees.
So we had I remember Unholster Your Tiger came from the current event.
Yes.
This one. Yes, it's a current event, and there were multiple that I read through. I think this other one, and then I briefly read through the tiger.
Was it a monkey?
No, Daniel.
Wait, chicken of the tree. That's just referencing one of the current events.
Yes.
I mean, it's got to be giraffe, right? Because
it was
chickens eat seeds off the ground.
I believe
and
it was
giraffes eat
in Florida when like iguanas were frozen because they're not used to like dips in the temperature. They were frozen and people were picking them up and like keeping them for snacks because some people ate them as snacks. And and then like they put them in their car, and then like once they blast the heat, like they start unthawing, and the iguanas started running around everywhere after they were unthawed or fully thawed.
My mind went to lizards, and I didn't say anything about it. I was like, I wouldn't even know how to connect lizards to chicken of the tree.
Yeah. Well, Brent did hit the way the title came about, and then we have a sponsor from this episode, and this one was Scentless Cologne. Once again, if you were worried about your cologne application being too much, too little, don't have to worry about that anymore. Scentless Cologne's got your back. Use code We Scentless Few. And then we had a character debate, and I don't remember what the superpowers were, but Daniel, who's your favorite superhero?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Well, okay, no, it was Ant-Man before he was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I thought it was really funny he existed. Now it's probably Squirrel Girl.
You know, Ant-Man has a master's degree in electrical engineering.
Wow, are you
just
Ant-Man?
Gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
I wouldn't reveal my secret identity if I was.
So Daniel, and Brent, I guess, all three of us, how does Squirrel Girl beat Superman? I mean, it's a very easy battle, but like, how does she go about it?
Dude, you just give every squirrel a little bit of kryptonite.
Here's my thing about Superman versus anyone is like Superman could literally just fly into space and wait 100 years because like he's all but immortal, and so he can just outlive anyone, and like that's the easy way to beat him.
But
like,
as we saw in Batman versus Superman, he was not smart enough to do that.
Yeah, the fact that Superman hasn't done that means he's pretty dumb. So, tell us. So like, how's Squirrel Girl gonna rally up all the squirrels to take down Superman? So
I would hope that's being that her only bit is being like involved with squirrels. I should hope it's not a tough issue for her to rally the squirrels.
Well, I mean, Superman can't even escape into space because of the giant space squirrel.
Yeah.
So the giant space squirrel just keeps Superman enclosed on wherever they're fighting, and then I mean, you think Superman could deal with 100 million squirrels that probably exist in the general area?
Yeah.
Yes. But also, all right,
look up squirrels per capita.
We're giving you. Well, no. We're gonna give you a sneak peek. Let's do a Fermi estimate right now. How many squirrels are there in the world? And then we'll look it up.
Based on how many squirrels you see on a college campus,
that's unfair comparison.
So about 100 a day.
10 to the 2.
And then you multiply that by a year.
What?
You see 100 squirrels a day on a college campus. You multiply that by a year because you're obviously seeing 100 different squirrels every single day.
Okay, so
Clearly.
we've got 3 times 10 to the 4.
And then you got to multiply by how many colleges there are. Wait, in the world or in the country?
I said the world.
So there's probably 30,000 schools.
Well, you guys always skip this. Fermi estimate. We're just doing powers of 10, right?
Yeah, but we
So-
already have a 3 in
well,
there, so,
so-
3 times 3, that basically makes it 10.
Do we think that there are 10,000 or 100,000 schools?
Let's say 100,000 schools.
Okay, so that's 10 to the 5. So we're at 10 to the 9 right now. 30
Yeah.
times 10 to the 9.
And then
Let's, for perspective, though, we are currently sitting at 3 billion squirrels.
Yeah,
yeah,
sounds
there's
about
got to
right.
be more than that.
I mean,
Wait, Fermi estimate?
maybe there
Yeah.
are.
10 to the 9. Check it.
All right. Finally, Lindsay, you happy with 10 to the 9?
I will say, I'll reel it in a little bit. 10 to the 7 is my guess.
Ooh.
I'll take 10 to the 9. And there is between 4 and 10 billion squirrels in
We
the
got
world.
Dang.
Look at that. Fermi estimates, kids. All right. Moving on.
They always work.
And that was episode 3. I mean, they do. But
Whatever.
we didn't do that season 1, so we can't spend too much time on it. You just got a little sneak peek. You're welcome.
Yep. Okay. And then the mini hypothetical that we did real quick, because what is a podcast with a hypothetical, is would you subject yourself or others to a loss of memory over a prison sentence?
I still have this written down because I didn't remember if we used it, and I certainly didn't think we had used it on the 3rd episode. But I still think I still like it as an alternative.
I don't think that I would subject myself to it. If someone else was willing, I wouldn't feel bad
Wait.
doing it, but like I personally couldn't do it.
Wait. No, explain, like, memory loss versus life sentence? What?
Yeah, so pretty much if someone gets a life sentence in prison, they're either going to spend their entire lives in prison or they're going to have to get their entire memory wiped so that they will have to pretty much start over.
Yeah, I mean, if the choice was to spend life in prison or start over, I don't know. That's tricky. I guess it depends on, like, your outlook. 'Cause in prison, I mean, you're just kind of stuck in the same exact thing you're doing every single day for the rest of your life.
I think you could say too, like, you can go to like 5 years old, right, or something.
Mhm.
Like, you don't have to completely.
Well, sure, but yeah, but like forgetting everyone you know, basically, would also be really.
It is essentially
tricky.
death, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe. I guess so. Why not?
But I think the more so like, it's an interesting question of like, would you do it yourself? But would you would you be okay with let's say a serial killer, Hannibal Lecter, if he opts for this, and you guarantee, like, he didn't like get around the system or anything, he is guaranteed to have lost his memories up until, let's say, 5 years old. Are you okay with him going back into society?
Yeah. At least for a bit, and then, like, because that's an interesting psych study. Like, will their, like, brain programming lead them down the same
nature
path?
or nurture?
Yeah.
I feel like with that you would have checkups at, like, I don't know, the year mark or whatever, and be like, so you have any thoughts about killing people?
Well, that's the
why
thing,
why
though,
do you
it's
ask
like-
that? No particular reason. I've never done anything like that in the past. Oh yeah, you absolutely haven't. I was just wondering.
'Cause
We ask all the people that.
I feel like the brain, even though you get your memory wiped, your brain will still get excited about similar things. So in theory, like, the trend might happen the same similar way. But like, I think, yes, like we were saying, checkups is definitely something worth keeping an eye out for.
Yeah.
Or taking advantage of, I guess.
Okay. We're still 3.
Okay, episode 4.
Episode 4.
Welcome everyone, Christian, the guest that we had. We brought him back.
Hey, Christian.
Yeah.
I was
Who's
hoping,
got a
what
good
are you
Christian
studying?
impression?
I was hoping one of you guys would attempt a Christian impression, but Christian's not here. That's sad.
Hi,
we went to.
it's me, the molecular chemist biology author. Christian.
Yes, sure. And then
Yeah, we're not doing any more impressions.
And then we took a Disney princess quiz, and
Classic.
I don't remember who got what, but
I haven't heard his voice in a while.
Pretty sure I was Cinderella.
sure. And I was.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I think I got Ariel, which I was about.
I do remember that.
I know that I guessed that I was gonna get the princess from Princess and the Frog, but I didn't put that to memory if I actually got it. And then we discussed the placebo ethical dilemma. Do you guys remember what that was?
I don't.
No.
So Christian presented someone you care for is on a trial for this medication that's supposed to help certain people, a certain condition, and you find out that they were given the placebo, so they're not going to get any effects. Rather, and when the medicine from your experience has shown that it's going to help to some extent, would you swap it out to ruin the trial, but it would help? I think the situation was it would help the person you cared for, their memory or something like that, because they like lost a lot of their memory and couldn't weren't really like self-functioning.
I mean, the disease is kind of irrelevant, right?
Sure. Yeah.
My only thing would be it, like, the fact that it's still in trial means it's not 100%, and so maybe a placebo is better than the actual thing itself.
Yeah. In theory, yeah.
Like-
At least like especially considering long term, like you don't know what the long term is. Like if you know any effects of the trial drug, it's going to be short term. So definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, person to person, the biggest thing to consider is, do you think you could not reveal that to the person? Like, even if it's supposed to be double blind, and so it's kind of ruined already, like, is as long as you can't reveal it, as long as you can keep yourself from hinting to your friend that he got the placebo, like, then it's kind of moot.
Well, yeah, but like the trial gets ruined because whether it's like thrown out or whether it's just taints the data, like not telling anyone that you swapped it would cause the trial to like have. I doubt, because I don't think trials typically are very vast, so it'd have like an outlier when there's only a couple test subjects. So it's like, oh, this person's doing fine without it, thinking that they got the placebo but wasn't. And then the other way around, if you did say it, then like the entire trial gets thrown out and started over, and probably the person that you cared about probably wouldn't be a test subject because they were already given it, and it'd be again tainted data.
Quick aside, it's funny you mentioned it twice. You know, Taint the Data was actually the name of my band in middle school.
You know, that joke grows on me more and more every time.
We're doing a redo of season 1. So.
That's the current season of your life, Brent. I use that joke. And by season, I mean this past decade. And then we also were sponsored by Iron Sandals. Gives you the breathability you want with open-toed shoes, but also giving you the protection you need from steel-toed shoes. And then we did another random wiki article about feg hoot. And do you guys have anything to add or any recounts on what a feg hoot was?
I thought that was the bombastic word. That's what it was in my mind, so no.
I've like, there have been times where I've gone back to this episode in my head and tried to remember what a feg hoot was. And I remember we said it was a hat, but I don't think it was actually a hat.
It was like
I don't recall saying
like an
anyone saying
idiot
it
or
was a hat.
something.
Someone said it's a hat.
It's like
Okay,
an
I mean,
insult.
if we said it,
or
was
we
a
said it
joke.
was an insult, maybe.
Yeah, we said
Yeah.
it was an insult that owls shared with each other. It was a slur from one owl to another.
Yeah.
But I do not recall what a fegu is in all legitimacy. But
Pretty sure it's a hat.
sure, we'll roll with the hat.
It's not a hat. And episode 4.
That is end of episode 4.
Yep.
And as painful as that was, it is now Daniel's turn, I believe, to utterly butcher this trend.
All right, I'm gonna try and make every episode go as fast as I can. So let's see,
Lightning round.
episode Lightning Round. Let's see if we can remember. George Washington on a Bridge was the name. All right, I didn't write down hypotheticals, so that's probably where it came from.
It was flying 75 miles per hour. The George Washington volcano.
Okay. Maybe I did write the hypotheticals down. Doesn't matter. I definitely did. I just saw it. All right. So episode 5. We started off with a paranormal location, and the one we did was the Devil's Tramping Ground.
Dang it.
So, one interesting thing is like, if you see pictures of like abandoned buildings or places that are just kind of run down, one of the more interesting things to me is like seeing how nature kind of is reclaiming that space. But that's also what's really interesting about the Devil's Tramping Ground is it's kind of the opposite, as it's a 40-foot circle in the woods where there is no plant growth at all. And the legend says the devil paces around in that circle at night while scheming, and the excessive walking is what keeps plants from growing. From science.unctv.org, I have a quote from an interview with Tommy Edwards, a folk musician, who said, "I won't call them urban legends. I guess they're rural legends." What are your thoughts, guys? Would you visit this subject of a rural legend?
Right. That's all I have to say. On the subject.
I had nothing to say as well.
When I was trying to think of things I could like spice everything over, do it a little differently, and I saw that quote, and I was like, I don't know why they included this, but that's definitely coming in the episode.
I mean, he's ahead of his time. What can we say?
He knows what's happening. Although I will note that scientists did test like for sodium, copper, zinc, and pH levels of the soil in the area, and determined there wasn't enough of a difference to stop plant life from growing. But people postulate, because of like loose beer cans and trash and stuff, that it's just a partying spot. But I will leave that in your brains to decide. So, yes, hypothetical, everyone can fly at 75 miles per hour. Doesn't matter your age or physical condition. You can fly, you can go at 75 miles per hour. What are your thoughts?
I remember being called out for my obsession with Michael Phelps during this episode. Which I wouldn't even call
Do you
an
want to talk
obsession.
more about that?
Anyway, I just think Michael Phelps is a peak human being, you know?
I remember in 6th grade, like once a week in our English class, we would have to do like a creative writing thing. And I would just write whatever random stories. I would just like think of something, and it was just like basically stream of consciousness type stuff, really wild random stories. And I wrote one about how I didn't know Michael Phelps had gotten like suspended from
Fence.
Michael Fence, yeah, Michael Fence, greatest American fencer of all time.
Yeah. That would be so great if I would. You know what? I'm changing my name legally to Michael Fence, and I'm training in fencing right now.
But I wrote about why he got like suspended from like participating in swimming events, and I didn't know that he actually had. I don't know. He was,
Oh, right. All right. Quick aside.
Doing some-
2nd grade, I wrote a story about Spider-Man losing his powers, and I told like my dad about it, William A. Clark, and he was like, "Yeah, that you're talking about Spider-Man too." And I was like, "What do you mean? It was an original idea that I came up with, that Spider-Man lost his powers." And I was like, "No, it happens in the 2nd movie." And I was so upset that they stole my idea.
wow. I can't believe they did that to you.
I
Do you
know.
still harbor negative feelings towards Tobey Maguire?
I mean, it was the director. I don't blame Tobey Maguire.
That's growth. I'm proud of you, buddy. Lindsay, what do you think about flights at 75 miles per hour? Would you?
I mean, I've seen it, but I would strictly be doing it like only flying via Michael Phelps swimming strokes.
Of course, you want to look like you're swimming through the air.
Yeah, not like Superman
Smart.
or something like that. Just like
Yeah. I mean, that's like the most vulnerable way you can fly, I feel like.
yeah, you want to be flailing your arms like you're trying to tread water.
Yeah, it's like
It's very good for balance.
Actually, I may have brought this up in the episode, but in the first or second Percy Jackson book, and he's flying on one of the unicorn Pegasuses, yeah. And he's like, "Why do you swing your arms or swing your legs when you fly?" And he goes, "I don't know. It's just comfortable. Why do you swing your arms when you walk?" That just made me think of that. Because now I'm picturing just walking through the air, but you're going at 75 miles per hour. But it just looks like you're taking a leisurely stroll.
No. Yeah. It's you know when you walk on like at an airport, they've got the people movers, right? It's like that, where you like you look like you're just walking normally, but you're going stupid fast.
People are flying to work just carrying briefcases.
Yeah. They've got suitcases they're pulling behind them.
Oh man. So the next thing, foreign idioms. So I have some of the idioms that we used from that episode. Basically, what we did was try and figure out what they meant, and I'm gonna test you guys to see if you remember what it means to give one's tongue to the cat.
It's gonna be upsetting to realize we learned nothing, but also not surprising.
I'm gonna guess something about like keeping a secret.
Yeah, I'll second the motion. No, we're doing a team exercise now.
All right. So it means you're basically stumped or you can't guess something. So as a kid, I often gave my tongue to the cat when playing math games with friends.
Aha.
And that is French. Another French one, to have mustard going up their nose.
Oh my god. To be really angry.
To be made foolish, to look foolish.
It is to lose your temper.
What? Your boy knows exactly what he's talking about.
Your boy apparently knows everything.
Yeah.
Let's see, was there another one that's good? Oh,
that's good.
You are elbow. This is Spanish.
You don't fit in.
Yeah, you don't conform.
I want to hear your thought process before I say what it is.
Well, you know, in conduit, on an elbow piece, right? There's an LL, an LR, and an LB. And that's what I was thinking.
See, I thought you might go down the route of elbow pasta, macaroni. Like, you only ever see that with cheese, and so it kind of doesn't fit in with the rest of the pasta, which are typically used with more versatility. But I see where you were coming from, too. It means, if you say you are elbow, you are calling them cheap. It's less of an idiom than it is slang, where elbow just meaning cheap. But, we'll go. I have a few more, but we'll go ahead and move on. Those are the
I like how you said we were going to lightning round. That might have been the longest episode yet.
There's no shot. Oh, wait, that did take longer than I thought. We got distracted.
Yeah.
That episode brought to you by the Antimatter Wallet. Turn your debt into instant profit. Episode 6. We opened with conspiracy theories. Lindsay, do you want to talk about this a little bit? Because this was based on a research paper you wrote. Just sum it up in one sentence. 10 words or less. You talked about Disney or Google wanting to, like, influence society. Or have power over individuals.
So I feel like with current day things, and okay, I'll take two things into consideration. One,
this is the worst sentence structure I've ever heard.
This is way more than 10 words. I can already tell.
Okay.
There are so many semicolons and commas in that this sentence so far. I hate it.
Considering
there was a period there.
Considering that the first time I discussed this, it did not really flow well and get you guys excited, and two, given political heaviness that the world is in, I may refrain from discussing such a topic.
All right, new conspiracy theory. Lindsay is a bird,
yeah,
which is also a robot.
Well, no, that he got paid off by Google and Disney in the meantime.
Yeah. He said, well, I think both conspiracies. He's a bird sent by the government to spy on the podcast, and also Disney and Google paid him off to not talk about it in the season 1 recap.
Right.
Lindsay, what are your thoughts?
About being bought off?
Or being a bird, or both.
I mean, I've got a non-disclosure agreement that holds my tongue, so...
If you're not supposed to talk about something, do you say... No one really says, I have an NDA on that. People just say, I can't talk about that, right?
Well, they didn't provide an NDA about the NDA, so I can just say that I'm allowed to say that I have an NDA, yeah.
I wonder if that's like a clause in NDAs that basically makes it a perpetual infinite NDA so that you can't go so meta about them to go around and say you have an NDA.
Yeah.
All right.
Basic boilerplate.
Hypothetical. What false memory would you implant into every single person for maximum personal gain? The one we talked about a lot was the one I said, which was to make everyone think that Congress had gotten rid of daylight savings time.
Also, fun fact, a bill passed the Senate for that fairly recently.
Yeah.
I remember the one that we talked about. It was like make everyone think that you owe them like $20
or like a
something.
favor. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is still a really good idea. But now I'm gonna say, oh man, I didn't think about this. I'm gonna say everyone like remembers that I am next in line for being the King of England. Yeah.
Okay.
I would make everyone think that I let them cut in front of me in a line and that they intended to like return the favor. So no matter where I go anywhere,
I
they
feel like
always
this is
let
the
me
same
cut the
as
line.
the last one.
Well, see,
It's similar,
Brent, I
but
feel
it's
like
specifically for cutting lines.
the one that you just said, Brent, I feel like people could like challenge it. The slightest doubt.
Well, but
People could look back and be
everyone
like,
remembers
He's
it.
not part of the royal bloodline, so let's
But I was
put
like,
this-
dude, you know me. You remember me. Come on, man.
I would.
I'm gonna do that to literally everyone. Like, go up to the Queen's Guard, or I guess the King's Guard now, and be like, dude, you know me. Come on. I'm just gonna do that all the way up into the Buckingham Palace.
I would do something like implant a memory that I had, like a very popular YouTube channel that everyone found funny or something like that, so that people like, oh, that's the guy. He's got so much credibility. He's the guy from this. He used to do this. I was
No,
super
and
funny.
then you put out a tweet like, I don't know what happened. YouTube took down my channel. I'm starting a new one.
Yeah.
So you can literally like you have some kind of credibility or following no matter what you do. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, I found that guy funny at some point. I can't put my finger on what it was, but like it was hilarious. So I'm gonna
insert the memory that you meant to listen to the latest episode of We Bombastic Few.
every week.
There you go. All right. This episode was brought to us by the modular calendar to be able to change the calendar to your convenience. We finished this off with movie debate. So I have a random list pulled up that we could do 2 random movies, or we could give our opinions on the ones we did that episode. What do you guys think?
No, let's get new ones.
New ones? All right. Why can I not click this link? All right, we're going to use the old ones.
Okay, cool.
All right. Matrix versus the live-action Aladdin.
Did you write down which ones?
I did.
Okay, cool. I imagine I come up with the same answers, but okay. Well, now I probably said Aladdin because Will Smith's in it, right?
Right.
Even though Matrix, Will Smith was supposed to be in.
Well, I mean, you know the title of this episode.
Yeah,
Basic movie math.
Yeah.
1 Will Smith versus 0 Will Smiths.
Yeah. So live action Aladdin.
Right.
Okay. As I'm not a fanboy like that, Will Smith, I love you. Come to the podcast, but I'm gonna have to say Matrix.
As someone who hasn't seen live action Aladdin, I'm
I
gonna
haven't
have to
seen
go
it
with I'm gonna have to go with it being better than the Matrix.
Well, according to episode 4, and it still rings true, I haven't seen even the animated Aladdin, so Matrix for sure.
That's surprising. Interesting. It's a good movie. If you like animated Disney films. All right. Men in Black versus Captain America: Civil War.
I'm gonna do some basic movie math here. I feel like, this you really don't need to listen to this episode because I am making the same jokes. One Will Smith greater in Men in Black, therefore Men in Black.
You didn't see Will Smith's cameo in Captain America: Civil War?
Lies.
Yeah, a lot of people got it wrong. They thought it was a
Deception.
Stan Lee cameo, but it was actually Will Smith dressed as Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where Stan Lee is in that movie.
I don't even remember the plot line of that movie.
I want to say he's a soldier at some
Oh,
point.
yes, I do. It's Captain America and Iron Man are fighting. All
I want to say Men in Black, I suppose.
right, I'll do one more. Iron Man versus the first Pirates of the Caribbean. Iron Man 1 versus Pirates of the Caribbean 1.
That's so hard because they're both so good in their respective genres.
I think you have to go with Pirates 1 though.
Yeah, I don't know what I feel like I probably said Iron Man maybe, but like I think I would go with Pirates right now.
I feel like we ended up agreeing on Pirates because a lot of people like you just can't go wrong with it. No matter what mood you're in, you can enjoy Pirates.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
All right, episode 7. So we did.
Taylor was a guest. Shout out to Taylor.
Yeah, we had Taylor as a guest, and so we did a BuzzFeed quiz. And I'm now realizing I'm gonna open with Chrome. Oh, I don't have Chrome. Open with Safari. So we're each gonna answer one question of this quiz, of a would you rather quiz, and we're gonna determine what our major and minor should be in college. So Brent, when it comes to planning your weekly schedule, would you rather have back-to-back classes at 8 a.m., evening courses, or
8
an
a.m.
even mix? 8 a.m. All right, Lindsay. When would you rather go to the on-campus gym? Before classes, middle of the day, or after you finish everything?
After I finish everything.
All right. Where would I rather set up shop to write a 20-page research paper? The library, the dining hall, or residence hall? Residence hall for me. Brent. For extracurriculars, would you rather join a student events committee, a literary club, or intramural sports?
These all suck.
Yeah.
I'll do a literary club.
All right, Lindsay, would you rather have a roommate who is in your major, not in your major, or in your minor?
Unbothered. Not in my major.
Uh,
I feel like this is almost an Ouroboros at this point because if we're answering stuff about our
Do you
minor,
say not in your major?
Correct.
Okay. So for experiential learning, would I rather take part in a semester abroad with my best friend, a hands-on project with my favorite professor, or an internship with experience in my desired field? Semester abroad would go hard. All right. During exam week, Brent, would you rather have more hours to sleep and recharge, more snacks and coffee, or more open book exams?
snacks.
All right. So our collective major is in human services with a minor in disability services.
Interesting.
Not very much, but okay.
I think that's really reflective.
I've always thought of
all us
myself as a
individuals.
people person that really cares about people and is willing to care.
You know what they say? Be money cares.
Yeah. The old classic adage.
So, all right, that's very good to know what careers we might be pursuing in the future or majoring in college when we go. Because, of course, it is season 1. Crazy current events. So, we're going to vote and decide who had the craziest current event based on the article title, and then we can read more of it if we so choose. So, one was a walrus defending her cubs sank a Russian Navy boat in the Arctic Ocean. Thieves steal $5 million gold toilet from Britain's Valheim Palace. Missouri bar charges customers by the hour instead of by the drink. And Australia bars entry to Vietnamese woman for failing to declare raw pork.
I
I don't recall a single.
Oh,
one
and
of
Navy.
these.
By the way, whoever's article is deemed the craziest wins and gets points.
I
I
like
don't recall a single one of these.
submarine. Yeah, I remember. I don't remember the submarine one, which is why
I think I'm gonna have to pick submarine as well.
All right, I was gonna be impartial because that was mine, but yeah, I win, so I get points. So,
Cool.
do you want to hear more about that article?
It was like a very quick.
All right. So I'm getting this from CBS News in September of 2019. So it was researchers from the Russian Geographical Society, and they did something to a mother walrus.
I don't like how that was so vague.
Well, I guess they just like came in on its turf. Oh, they boarded a small rubber landing craft and were en route to the shore to study its flora and fauna when a female walrus attacked, sinking the vessel. So they weren't on their main ship. They were on like a little
all right,
like
we're done.
rowboat.
That's boring.
That's it's less exciting, but I like the clickbait.
Yeah. Good old clickbait.
Classic.
All right, and then what was the title of that episode?
Salad is nothing to floxinophilifacate.
I don't remember where salad came in, but floxinophilification was
To evaluate something as useless.
yeah, and that was the bombastic word.
Because in the beginning, I think it was like, what's your favorite soup or something, or it was what's your favorite cereal, or it was some kind of question, and someone's answer was salad.
Yeah, I feel like Taylor said something about salad.
Yeah.
All right. This is my favorite bit I came up with for this. So, episode 8 was the Halloween special, and we opened with Trick or Treat. Now, originally, me and Lindsay decided to choose Trick, and we didn't tell Brent what we were doing, and we wanted him to list as many Will Smith movies as he could, and then give us, like, his ranking. So for this Trick or Treat, I'm going to see if Brent has maintained his opinions and has the same favorite and least favorite Will Smith movies.
Oh my gosh.
And can he name all 17 Will Smith titles that he did that episode?
All right. We got The Legend of Bagger Vance, which I don't think was on the list at the time.
Was not on the list.
Okay, so Shark Tale, Men in Black 2, Men in Black 3. There are movies that have come out since then. So we've got I Am Legend, I, Robot. We have what's the tennis movie? King Richard. There's Wild Wild West. We've got 7 Pounds. We've got Ali. You've got oh man, Independence Day. You've got
There's a few I'm surprised you've missed.
yeah, well, shut up. Suicide Squad.
Which I didn't even know he was in Suicide Squad.
Deadshot.
Probably at the time, or until I re-listened to the episode.
Oh man, if you give me long enough, I could come up with more. But give me hints, or either just continue, so we're not
Superhero.
sitting here. Oh, Hancock.
Cop.
We've I said I, Robot, didn't I?
Yep.
There's a different.
Is another cop one?
Yeah.
Oh, magic wand based Bright.
Yep.
There's another one, right?
Declaration of Independence.
The
Preamble.
National Treasure.
Are
you saying Independence Day
Life, Liberty.
and the Pursuit of Happiness?
All right.
Dang. There's Pursuit of Happiness and the other one that's basically the same movie. That's the Collateral Beauty.
Matchmaking.
Oh, Hitch.
I haven't seen this one, so I don't know. But astrology.
Astrology.
Fear.
What? Are these the same?
Yeah, fear. Just think
Yeah.
about fear.
Oh, Fear. After Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another one you didn't
That's
name.
what I was
But
going for.
Gemini Man was what I was going for.
Oh,
with astrology. All right. And there is one. There's one more on the list. It's not a movie.
The Oscars.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Did you say Bad Boys?
So
No, I didn't.
he didn't say
Bad
it the
Boys
first time
2.
either. Just Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
He was actually CGI'd into the first and third ones. Fun fact.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a third one.
Oh
no, it's very recently. It's Bad Boys for Life or something.
I think it got canceled or something like that.
Oh, did it?
I thought it came out. Okay.
I could be wrong.
Whatever. All right. What is your favorite and least favorite Will Smith movies? And you'll get points if you pick the same ones.
Gosh.
It's one for each, so you can pass me up in points.
Only yourself.
Yeah.
You're competing against the 1 point I have for having the craziest article.
Focus. I don't know if I said that in the last one or whatever. I'm just gonna list Will Smith movies for the rest of the episode, by the way, as I think of them.
All right. Favorite.
Well, I was gonna start with least favorite.
Okay.
Least favorite, I feel like was I don't know if it was Collateral Beauty, but like of the ones I've just listed, Collateral Beauty is pretty low on there, just because it was boring.
Okay, Collateral Beauty was much more decent than you're giving off, but okay, sure.
And then favorite, I'm gonna go with I don't even know. I really like Hancock.
Because he's Superman. That's the only reason why.
I like what I like. Leave me alone.
I just like when he takes that kid into the stratosphere and then brings him back down.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Wild Wild West.
All right. Well, you get 0 points. Your favorite Will Smith movie was Men in Black, and your least favorite was Men in Black 3.
Classic. I'm a visual person. I need to be staring at a list.
All right.
I'm sure it's the same excuse I gave last time.
This segment brought to you by Jack-o'-lantern, a special kit for stealing other people's jack-o'-lanterns if you don't want to carve your own. So the hypothetical would, in terms of apocalypses, would a werewolf apocalypse, vampire apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, or goblin apocalypse be hardest to defeat?
I'm still going with werewolf. I don't know if I said that, but alright, I'm keeping the same answer. But werewolves, right? Because you don't know who's a werewolf, and then on one night a year, you're getting screwed.
Well, I remember that. My counterpoint was with all like as big as like home security has become and like Ring cameras and stuff. Like it would be much easier to track like where someone came from and whatnot.
I still say werewolves are the ultimate apex predator.
Wait, so does apocalypse doesn't mean like it's a growing like whatever you want to call it like
I would say in the case of the first three it would be growing werewolves, vampires, and zombies, and then goblins I guess would just be an invasion.
Yeah.
But is any of them like do either of the like populations grow quicker than others, do you think?
Zombies would grow the quickest.
Okay.
Because the bite like gives you a disease that kills you and then turns you into a zombie.
Also, fun fact, I remember telling someone this one time and they thought the pyre stood for pirates. And one of the apocalypses was pirates.
Oh.
Interesting. I guess I'd go with werewolves too. I think the only competitor to it would be zombies because it spreads quicker.
Vampire? I don't know. They all suck. I think because they're all very debatable.
They all sound like charms I don't want to be a part of.
Yeah, exactly.
I think zombie would just catch you by the most surprise because like it's gonna spread a lot before anyone realizes it happens, and then like the morgues and hospitals get taken over, and then you just have a much larger crisis than you were prepared for at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they are probably the easiest monster to deal with in a one-on-one scenario.
Absolutely.
Goblins could be tricky depending on their weaponry.
Yeah. Also, they want to steal your gold.
Yeah, they can't have my gold.
Exactly.
I'll fight them for my gold.
Ain't no one touching my gold.
All right, and to
origin
cap,
of the title, the Werepire Zomblin's coming to get you.
Yes, which came from the holiday song, which is my final segment before we go to Brent. And basically, we got to make a Halloween song, or unless today is a national holiday, but we're each going to get one line for time's sake.
Well, okay, how about we table that because I had that planned for a new thing. So, well,
all right.
why don't you give us a line from the old song?
The Weirpire Zomblin is coming to get you.
Here, season 1, episode
8.
This is 8. Why don't you serenade us for
All right.
It's only a few lines. You got this.
Read it or sing it. Let's switch lines.
No, this is
The
your...
Weirpire Zomblin is coming to get you. Zombie with a pumpkin on its head. I'm too afraid to get up out of bed. Goblin with a funny face. Gonna hit me with his mace. Vampire biting people's necks. That was a very different amount of syllables. You never know which victim's next. Werewolves coming out at the full moon. I need to get to safety soon. The Weirpire Zomblin is coming to get you. Boo.
Perfect. And we got a hit there.
Yeah,
all right.
number 1 on iTunes for about a month.
Yep. Exact same joke. All right. So that was the Werepower's almost coming to get you. And then we moved on to episode number 9.
And that'll do it for time. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing an actual speed round, unlike some people. Okay, so episode 9, we started with the BuzzFeed quiz. We're going to get a new BuzzFeed quiz because you're tired of old stuff. You want new stuff. Check off the fall activities you do, our options. And we're going to find out what % obsessed with fall we are.
Let's just list a few apiece, and then whichever ones we say, we click. All right. Hayride.
I feel like I've looked at this list, so I can't help.
Corn maze, carving pumpkins.
I'm already
Well,
looking at the
okay.
list, so
We're just gonna use the list.
Alright.
Carved pumpkins. I'm go for it. Corn mazes. Yes. Scary movie. Yes. Wear a coat.
Yeah.
No. Screw
Are you
coats.
kidding me?
Get a PSL. I don't know what that is.
pumpkin spice.
I would
latte.
absolutely get
I
a
learned that
PSL.
today.
What is it?
Oh, pumpkin spice latte.
Oh no! Get out of here.
I learned that today.
Watch football.
I mean, yeah, I usually do.
So okay,
No,
okay.
we're not going
I'm
on
sorry,
it.
this is taking away from the speed round, but like a lot of these I
Oh
won't do on my own accord. But if anyone else says they want to do it, I'll do it. So should I be clicking that for that or not?
That's a good point. I do what you want. I don't care. Take a long walk. Sure. Go apple picking. Play in the leaves. Absolutely. Go to a bonfire. Yep. Bake cookies. I don't bake. Get jealous of people with fall birthdays. That seems weird. Make your own Halloween costume. Absolutely not. Go trick-or-treating. They don't let me, but I try anyway. I am 51% fall girl. I like fall, but I'm not obsessed. So, there we go.
I'm right
All
there
right.
with you.
And then we moved on to shared sensation. Anthony was the guest, came up with the hypothetical.
I also got 51% fall girl.
Interesting. And so it was you feel what other people feel, and I don't know anything to add. That was the hypothetical. And then we had random wiki. Lindsay, tell me about the 1997 Icelandic Men's Football League Cup. Sorry.
Well, this one was the one that obviously made the Icelandic Men's Football League actually be expire because they lost.
They
so
died?
poorly. No, they actually lost so poorly that the team never faced another team ever again because of their pride was completely demolished.
You're missing a crucial detail. It's actually the first time an Icelandic team wasn't the one who won the cup, and that's why they disbanded the league, because they did get so demoralized there.
Yeah, they really They really put the blame on a bench warmer named insert random Icelandic name here.
That's pretty racist.
I don't.
If you didn't remember the exact name, then you can just say insert name here.
And this bench warmer just was making some bad call outs, and he gave I know this is a really bad joke, but gave the play sheet to the other team. So he was a sellout, and the other team knew all their plays. So which
And that's the sum up of the 1997 Icelandic Men's Football League Cup. And that episode was Imagine Not Having Audio Problems, because we had a lot of audio problems. Also, fun fact about that title, Daniel sent the file to me with that as the title, and I assume that's what he wanted the title to be. He did not want that title. So that's why it's titled that. Anyway, episode 10. Now, episode 10 is pretty historic, which we'll get to in a second. But start out with Get to Know You. So I've got a interview question for both of you. What do you think about garden gnomes?
What do I think about garden gnomes?
Yep.
I think they're heroes.
Yeah, I was gonna say they protect us. Like, the world would be so much more dangerous if they weren't in existence.
They keep the bad luck and evil spirits away.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine not liking garden gnomes.
They actually fight off all the current day werewolves, but like, there's only so many few gnomes in existence that, like, if there was like an apocalypse or an outbreak of like them going on rampage, like the ratio between the gnomes and the werewolves would be completely flipped on its head, and the gnomes wouldn't be able to help us anymore.
Truly the unsung heroes.
Correct.
All right. And if you could compare yourself with any animal, which would it be and why?
A werewolf, because my biggest downfall is not being able to take down a garden gnome.
Daniel?
What was the question? I saw a funny meme.
If you could compare yourself... I don't want to see the meme. We're recording an episode. If you could compare yourself with any animal, which would it be and why?
I'm guessing I said cat. But I'm gonna go with an iguana.
Why?
Frozen iguana.
Because I was gonna say chameleon, but then I couldn't remember what Lindsay said. I was like, maybe he said chameleon, but he definitely didn't say iguana.
Right. As a side note, half of these questions of 15 weird and funny interview questions could be done with a Fermi estimate. So we'll just leave that to the side. But the hypothetical was the internet was down for 1 year. And what do we know about what happens when the internet goes down, people?
Santa Claus comes back.
Santa Claus comes back.
On VHS.
On VHS. And where are you going to get that VHS from?
Family Video.
The dollar bin at
Walmart. The Blockbuster, the origin of Blockbuster, the essence of the podcast that has been keeping us going for 2 years. Started in episode 10. And then, of course, we had a random list power debate. So, I'm going to tell you right now, is someone who can control animals or Elastic more powerful person in the kitchen? Go.
Control
Wait,
what?
Can you say that again?
So the power A, the ability to control animals. Power B, elasticity. Who is better in the kitchen?
Dude, you've seen Ratatouille. How is this a question?
Yeah, but can you imagine? So, like, picture Elastigirl or something, right? Do you know how many tools you could make out of your own body and then just, like, do all the tasks at once?
Well, yes, but
sure, but that
commands animals to do all those tasks for you.
Exactly, it's so much less effort and stressful on you if you can get an army of rats to do your cooking for you.
Yeah, but how are you going to make sure that the rats clean their hands?
By controlling them.
Yes. It's
yeah, but
it's too intuitive for you.
But even if I don't trust a rat washing his hands.
But you're controlling it. You have they have to.
Me personally, I'd go for something a little more versatile, like a raccoon. I would have an army of raccoons.
Ratatouille.
Yes.
That's a sleeper reference that only 1% of our audience will recognize, maybe.
Facts.
All right, and that was Touch the Kraken. Why was it called that? Pop quiz.
No idea.
Okay, I don't remember either, so we're moving on. Episode 11. that was the first qualgorithm, which we called the cycle back then, which is gross. So in place of that, I'm gonna tell you a story about how I got my motorcycle license last week.
Good lord.
And Lindsay already heard the story, but anyway, so the very short short version of the motorcycle story is like we get there. It's like a class of 8 people. There are 2 instructors. We have like a class session for like 10 minutes. Then we go out and we start riding bikes. And I was not prepared. And they put me on a bike and they're like, all right, you do a couple exercises with it off. And then they set up like 2 cones across the parking lot. They're like, all right, go back and forth between these 2 cones. And I like could not get my bike to start, or so it would either like not pull me whatsoever, or I would kill it as trying to get it to pull me forward. And so like I kept trying to get help, couldn't get it. I couldn't get the bike into neutral. I was having issues. And so at some point I had to turn the bike around in first gear with the engine on. And I was doing it by holding in the clutch, and the instructor comes over to me and he's like, did you just turn the bike around with the engine on in first gear? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, if you keep messing around, I'm going to kick you out of this class. And I was like, please help me. I don't know what's happening. And and then by the end of the day, I ended up being the greatest rider there. Not even kidding. Then the next session, I was once again the worst rider there because everyone else practiced and read stuff. And so comes to the time for the test, and there are these cones set out so many distances. The first exercise, you have to weave between them. I do mine. I like barely clip the last cone. I'm pretty upset about it. Go back in line. We're waiting for everyone else to finish doing it, and this other guy who wasn't in our class comes in, and he is like apparently taking the test with us, and he starts going, and like he's doing fine, but then at one point he like overcorrects, and then like he completely lets go of the clutch. The bike like goes out from under him, and he like crashes the bike to its side. Made me super nervous. Ended up passing the test. You could lose 16 points. I lost 13 points. So watch out for me on the road. But I got my M endorsement, baby. I'm a motorcyclist.
I thought you were about to say the guy who wiped out passed the test and then you didn't
No,
and then
no,
had
no,
to
no.
take it again.
If you dropped your bike, you immediately failed the test. But I don't have a motorcycle yet. But so if you're listening and have a motorcycle to sell, you can message We Bombastic Few. But that's the motorcycle story, and that's what happened during the cycle, episode 11. Anyway, hypothetical was
he said a quick way that took way too long. I'll give you the TLDR. Too long, didn't listen really, but he signed up for a class, took a class, passed the class. The end. Thanks for coming to the cycle.
Yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, hypothetical was the devil came down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. See, he was in a bind, and he was way behind. And he was looking to make a deal. And then, what is a skill you are so good at you believe that you could beat the devil at? And I said Triangle Minesweeper. Daniel stole mine and said Triangle Minesweeper. And then I don't remember what Lindsay said, but we're gonna give our answers again. What do you think you could beat the devil at?
Composite fabrication.
Composite fabrication. I like it.
Like I'm not even joking. Like that's the only thing I've really mastered in life, and I don't.
I bet you he's not that great at Excel. And like I've been doing. Or auto hot. I'll take Excel or auto hotkey. Either of those. Like I could absolutely school his silly little butt.
It's hard to say. There are things I've been confident about my skill in the past, but I'm not as good at now. I wouldn't say I'm like super good at anything right now, but the one I think I could pick back up is 3D Space Pinball.
I don't know. I feel like the devil is very good at 3D Space Pinball.
Dude, I would
I don't know
smoke
why,
the devil with 3D Space Pinball, Brent.
All right, fine. We'll allow it. And the title there was Lucifer versus Geometric Shapes. And then we had episode 12, which we had a BuzzFeed quiz again, which we're going to go even faster. We're cranking up speed even more. You might know your outer aesthetic, but what's your inner aesthetic? How would your friends describe you to someone you've never met? Creative, playful, confident, simple, friendly, serious. I'm going to say serious. Which of these do you value most in your life? Memories, freedom, fame, kindness, individuality, friendship. I'm gonna say memories. We're just getting my answers, by the way. Because who cares?
Sure.
You guys aren't saying them quick enough.
I'll say my results.
Which of the following is your ideal date location? Art museum, park, arcade, theme park, rooftop, movie theater. Movie theater.
Rooftop.
Which of these movie genres is your favorite? Romance, horror, fantasy, coming of age, comedy, animated Disney.
These are all horrible.
Horror. Which of these would you rather be complimented on? Personality, cooking, intelligence, style, taste in music, humor. Which of these art pieces speaks to you the most? Art 1, Art 2, Art 3, Art 4, Art 5, or Art 6?
Art
I'm going
4
with
for
Art
sure.
3. Which of these music genres do you enjoy the most? Folk, hip hop, pop, rock, classical, indie,
Classical.
pop. Which of these gifts would you be most touched to receive? A tin of baked goods, a plane ticket, a personalized scavenger hunt, a signed copy of your favorite book, a bouquet of your favorite flowers, a new luxury car. Absolutely a luxury car. You're an idiot if you choose anything else.
Ouch.
Which of these images makes you feel most at home? A tree,
Trees.
baking, album
Posters.
store, a library, a
Library.
concert, computer.
Computer.
Which of these supernatural creatures would you rather be? Fairy, dragon, vampire, mermaid, zombie, alien. Why would you want to be a zombie?
Why would you
Obviously
want to be
a
anything
dragon.
but a dragon?
Yeah, which this is so much longer than I thought. Which of the characters do you find most annoying in other people? Being boring, being impatient, ignorant, dependent, follower, defensive. Honestly, I don't like any of these.
Honestly.
I'm going to say being a follower. And finally, what is your favorite kind of weather? Snow, lightning storm, clear and sunny, rain, cool and breezy, fog, lightning storm. No problem.
Rain. I'm torn between rain, lightning storm. I'll say rain.
Lightning storms are awesome. All right. My inner aesthetic is alternative.
Mine is dark academia.
Dark.
I got retrocore.
What does dark academia mean?
You're someone with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. Sometimes that means staying up until 2 a.m. or staying up reading it until 2 a.m. in the morning, because you simply must know what happens. And other times means binge watching. That is inaccurate.
Untrue. It's a BuzzFeed quiz. Could not be inaccurate. Mine is basically just a hippie reword.
And mine was like I enjoy things from like before I was born, or from at least like the 90s.
What a hipster.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the hypothetical was sentient turkets.
Turkish.
Sentient turkets. What if turkets across the world became sentient?
You know where they would be from?
Turket?
Tur-
Turtucket?
Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan. Correct. And then we had the holiday song return. So we're going to make a song about Labor Day really quick because this was supposed to come out. This episode was supposed to come out around Labor Day. So Lindsay, Daniel, give me the first line.
I'm not gonna be good at this.
No one actually celebrates this holiday.
No one actually celebrates this holiday. Also, going back to people hating hearing me type. Hey, what do you say?
That's very Labor Day.
Okay. Yeah.
Even union buffs don't know, or even don't take advantage of this day.
No, you can't use day.
I'm gonna
We've
use
already
day
used it.
again.
You can't.
No, because I used holiday.
Fine.
Union buff, yeah.
I'm gonna.
Oh,
like
you're gonna
this
change
way.
it.
I am. Executive decision because I'm typing.
Okay.
No one actually celebrates this holiday. Hey, what do you say? Even union buffs don't like this way. Boom. Top hit.
Make that the national anthem.
National anthem, part 2. The sequel. And then
Don't let my dad hear that; he'd kill me.
Finally, we're at the season finale of season 1, which of course we had a holiday tier list. I'm gonna give you two holidays right now: Arbor Day and Columbus Day. What tier are those two?
Holiday, then Columbus Day. Or we're not just not tiering them against each other. We're just like actually putting them.
Well, yeah, like D to S tier. With also for people who don't know, which S tier is the best, and then it goes A, B, C, D.
I mean, all Columbus Day had going for it was like a free Monday off, but that's not even true anymore. So
At least for the working individual, yes.
yeah,
I feel like Arbor Day, you actually do things as opposed to Columbus
people
Day.
consider doing things, I suppose. I would go as far as to say
people
they
like
do
celebrate trees existing.
Well, yeah, but sometimes they have like tree plantings or whatever.
I haven't heard of that, but that's cool. Okay, yeah, Arbor Day is better. Let's
things.
put
Arbor Day is a solid B tier.
I'd put it B- or C.
Columbus Day is
I'll
either
go with
C or D.
I like B-. And then where's Columbus Day going? I'm thinking
mean, as an adult, it's a D.
Yeah, a very, very strong D tier.
All right.
All right. And then we had the hypothetical was, what if you became Santa? How would you go about doing this? And at the time, we said to use drones to deliver gender-neutral rubber balls to everyone. Do we think there's a more effective way nowadays?
Yeah, after some kind of either goblin, vampire, werewolf, or zombie apocalypse, if I could like tame or become allies with whatever creature had an apocalypse, they could help me transport the gifts.
All right, hear me out. What if, so we take a lot of gold dust, right? And then we just like take a cannon and fire it into the air, and then we have the gold dust just like kind of come down, and that's your Christmas present.
I think the best Christmas present would be a 3-in-1 book copy of the Eldar series.
Oh my goodness. We have never talked about it on this, so that doesn't exist as far as the listener's concerned. But once it comes out, you bet your butt. Also, if you know a publisher, please contact. If we know a motorcycle, a publisher, a ham sandwich, or Will Smith, if you know any of those things, then let us know. Okay, and then finally, we had the opinion debate. So, opinion debate right now: was this episode worth doing? Do we think that you can skip season 1 if you listen to this episode?
I think so. I think we accomplished exactly what we set out to do, and that was, yeah. I mean, we basically cut the time of season 1 down by like fivefold, right?
Literally.
So we had shorter episodes back then.
Yeah, but it was like 45 minutes became the average very quick, and then by the end we were doing an hour. So, yeah. I'd say we were at least 10 hours. So, by the end of it.
Yeah,
because the season finale was wrong, but
getting close, yeah.
And just like that, the hiatus is over, and we came back. But spoiler alert, we're going on another hiatus because we need to regain creativity because it's all gone. We used it all. We have none left.
Yeah,
and so
we spent it all on this episode where the material really wrote itself.
Yeah. We'll see you in a year when we've rejuvenated.
No, it won't be that long. Unless
It'll be
it will
like
be.
a little longer.
Take bets now on how long this hiatus will be.
That's the secret bonus segment, is how long will it be before we come back.
If you guess the date of the next published episode, you get points.
Yeah. Daniel's keeping track of all these points, and you can get some just for you if you guess correctly. Also, this is kind of a throwback because the season 1 season finale also was an hour and a half. Throwback.
We did it on purpose.
Exactly. Well, surprisingly, it is kind of hard to cover 10 hours worth of stuff in 1 hour. But
yeah. I mean, if one individual didn't take twice as long as the other two individuals, we might have been able to do
it. Yeah. Well, that's just the way it be sometimes. I'm trying to find okay, here we go. We're back at the conclusion. All right, so like, comment, subscribe, follow. So we have got some stuff in the pipe works for next season. I'm just gonna say some general overall improvements. No action steps have been taken yet though, so it might mean nothing. So I'm giving you an empty promise of maybe something will be different next season. in the beginning. Hint, hint.
What
does that mean?
We've thrown around the idea of a silent podcast in which you just have to imagine what we're saying, and we'll just put the record button and have our mics muted so you don't know what we're saying. So it's kind of a puzzle.
I feel like I am at least relatively predictable in what I say, in which you could do a topic and you had to, that'd be a pretty fun game. You give a prompt and you have to guess what Brent's response was going to be. Was it that was my name and that was my nickname in college? Is it I like Will Smith movies? Is it That'll be a fun game. Maybe we'll play it next season.
We'll set it up like a Dora the Explorer episode, and we'll like give a prompt and be like, "Do you know how Blockbuster comes back?"
Yeah. Absolute classic. Final thoughts. Season 5, everyone. Overall episode 800. Season 1/5. Season 15.
The season finale. The season recap.
It's not because this is just voice clips from season 1, which is what we're recording right now.
Exactly.
And that we supercut. We didn't do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, in season 5.
Yeah.
Also, throwback to never letting Lindsay have first thoughts. Daniel, final thoughts.
Another throwback was originally when we were talking about, before we recorded the first episode, ideas for segments and stuff. And we were going to do things like whoever uses the bombastic word more gets points. And we were going to do it off a point system. And I accidentally started using a point system this episode. So throwback to season 1.
What a unique and crazy idea to do during this episode. It's crazy how it lined up. Like it happened to co-align with the first season.
Yeah, I did this thing where I was like, oh, you gain a respect point if you understand what that reference was from. And I feel like Brent is the only one that actually has a positive numerical value.
I'm gonna edit it so that me and Lindsay's segments each took 10 minutes. And then Brent's going to talk about how he's actually going to do a speed round, and his took
then talks about his
longest.
motorcycle class for 30 minutes.
Hey. Okay. Lindsay, any final thoughts?
I've said my piece. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I believe the manager would
right.
make some activity on the Twitter account. Give him something to respond to.
I have a new final thought. I've said my piece. Is that what form of piece is it? You could say I've said my PIECE piece, and then it's like I've said my part of this discussion. Or you could say I've said my PEACE piece. I've said my piece, and then it's like I'm satisfied with what I've said. And for the longest time I thought it was piece, but then I saw it written out for the first time, and they spelled it with the other piece.
Oh, you thought it was peace, but it actually was used as peace the other time?
I thought it was peace, but if it's peace, then that just pieces it all together.
You know what?
And gives me peace.
Now that I'm actually consciously thinking about it, it's got to be peace. Because
peace makes the most sense.
There's no way.
Because I don't think peace makes any sense.
Yeah. That's a great final thought. Thanks for.
Was it peace?
Discussion. Yeah, it's
peace. I think it was peace.
Okay, cool.
But thanks for listening. Peace.
Wait, no. We don't get it now.
I hijacked this outro.
No. Because I haven't even said my final thoughts. You can cut the audio and put that at the end if you want. The entire segment. I want to thank everyone for listening. If you've been listening since season 1, leave a comment. Let us know who our uber favorite fans are, because you are our uber favorite fans. If you're new, we like you too. Well, let's be honest here. You're helping the channel grow. You're really a big fan. You're now a big fan. Congratulations. And you're already caught up on season 1, so that's pretty cool too. Shout out to Mom. Thanks for listening to 800 episodes. And that's everything. Ever. Watch out for us coming. I'm gonna say within an amount of time that is around 2-ish months, maybe. keep an eye on your podcast feed, and if you see a new We Bombastic Few episode, give it a listen.
2 months, 218 months tops.
Yep, somewhere in that margin, and you will see a new episode. But without further ado, season 5, episode 13 is come to a close. Have a bombastic week. We'll see you next time.